We'll get back underway with our media availability here this afternoon, and joining us now is Kurt Busch, the driver of the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Dodge, who is fourth in the points, won here at Texas in the fall of 2009, and was fourth in this race here last year. Kurt, good start to the season. Texas, a track everybody's looking forward to getting back to and racing at. You had a good race last year and last time you were here, so why don't you talk about what you're looking forward to as far as this weekend's concerned?
Yeah, this is a big market with Shell Pennzoil being just down the road in Houston, and we're going to do our best to make sure that we got the colors flying up front and to have a shot at going to victory lane. This is one of those tough tracks that you have to balance dynamics with the chassis handling, and you're always fighting the track conditions. And this time around, with racing at night, it'll be slightly different, and hopefully we'll allow ourselves adjustability in our Shell Pennzoil Dodge to take advantage of the cool conditions that we're going to find once we get into the halfway point in the race on Saturday night. You know, practicing today, tomorrow it's supposed to be windy and sunny with warm temperatures in the 90s. So we'll see how we can balance that out and get her dialed in for the night race portion of it, because the night program is just so much faster. The track's cooler, the winds usually die down. But night racing, I think, is a benefit for everybody, the fans, the drivers. The excitement of the whole day's activities lead up to the race really makes for a great atmosphere.
All right, you have questions for Kurt? Let us know, please. Raise your hand. We've got mics. Give us your name and affiliation before you ask.
Yeah, Kurt, Louis Franco, Reuters. What does your team do when you don't have a notebook? I mean, you have a notebook on Texas, but what do you do coming in here different than you would for a day race?
Well, the fact that we can't test on tracks that we race on, we try to take advantage of the first session of practice with 3 or 4 big ideas and see which one sticks, and we'll work around that. Then we just start working towards track conditions, and you can relate to some of the past experiences to get you pretty close. And then you have to, as the weekend progresses and as time draws closer to the end of practice, you have to really understand how you're going to dial it in for Sunday or Saturday night. And we've raced here in the fall with cooler conditions, so you parallel those cooler conditions to what we'll see hopefully on Saturday night.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius NASCAR Radio. Can you talk about the speeds here and feeling the speed? You know, it's funny, you go to Martinsville, and Mark Martin was just saying you almost don't feel the speed here. And I wonder if you get that sense of it here, the fast racetrack.
There's a couple sections on the track, corner entry and corner exit, where you really get the sensation of speed here. The 210 down the straightaway, you're going fast, but you don't necessarily feel it just because it's very wide. There's plenty of lanes to choose from, but there's that edge, that on-edge feeling that you get when you're going into the corner and when you're trying to hold it wide open on corner exit. Turn 4 especially gets pretty slick when the sun's out, and you just have to slide it through there just the right way. And you really know when you're going fast when something happens, when something goes wrong. But otherwise, the rate of acceleration here isn't all that high just because we get to keep our speed up all the way around. I think when there's rates of acceleration, that's when you feel more speed.
Reed Spencer with Sporting News. Kurt, at this point in the point standings, 7 different teams are represented by the top 7 drivers. All 4 manufacturers are represented in the top 4. Is this just happenstance, or do you feel like there's more parity in this series than ever before?
It's what NASCAR always strives for, is the parity amongst manufacturers, the teams, of course. It could be just random circumstances that we have, the situation we have with points right now. For us, being the only Dodge camp, we have to go out there and carry that banner the best that we can and make sure they're being held up to the standard that they need to be, and that is comparable with the rest of the group. We have a championship car, we have a championship team. We just need to continue to do that. And right now, with like the to be pretty strong, with Edwards winning right out of the box, and watching even the 6 car gain some speed, that shows that those guys have definitely got an edge right now. But you're always competing against the Chevrolets. They seem to always be the cars to beat just because of quantity. There's that many more of them than the rest of us. And the Toyotas. I mean, Kyle's up there running strong. He's been the one to be more competitive at all the tracks this year than anybody else next to Carl Edwards. and that's why he's leading the points. It comes down to just raw speed.
Woody Kane with MRN, over to you, right, Kurt. You started off the season just stout with your restrictor plate program at Daytona. Do you have that same kind of confidence going to Talladega, and how do you think the racing will be similar or not so similar when you get there to Daytona?
Yeah, we have high expectations next week at Talladega with how everything went for us at Daytona. A couple years back, when we qualified at Talladega and Daytona, we were in the mid-30s. This time around, we were a top 5 car. We have definitely changed our program around 180 degrees for restrictor plate races. And I hope that maybe one day I can crack victory lane in a points-paying race at a restrictor plate race. And we're going to see that same style of draft. The two-car draft is just so potent. I mean, any time that you can tell a race car driver he can go 4 seconds faster a lap and give him the recipe on how to do it, he's going to go and put it into play. And that's that two-car draft. So we worked real well with Regan Smith, looking for more opportunities with Brad Keselowski, my Dodge teammate, and anybody else. You want to learn how their car drafts with yours, vice versa. That way you're best prepared for Sunday's event.
Other questions for Kurt?
Bob Parker, Scene Daily. There's been a lot of talk about pit road speeds this week, and I was just curious, how long did it take you to learn the art of figuring out where all the lines were and speeding up and slowing down and doing all that stuff to get the most out of your time on pit road?
Yeah, the game has changed on pit road. It used to be, when I first started, just a group of officials on top of the tower clocking random drivers. And they would choose to call down, or they would choose not to call down to your team and let you know if you were too fast or not. Then we went into this, I guess more or less a transponder scoring system on pit road. And I've actually been up in the tower during a nationwide race to watch it work. And when you're at the correct pit road speed, your car number's in green. And when you're in the incorrect speed going too fast, your car number turns red. So in a sense, it's black and white. You're good or you're bad. They're going to call your number no matter who you are, and they're going to let you know when you're speeding. The problem is that there's different speed zones that are different lengths. We have 100 feet on entry and exit of pit road, and then a lot of times we have 300 to 400 feet in between the segments during the regular pit boxes, from stall 1 to 20 or from 21 to 30. There's large differences. When you have those large segments, that's when there's opportunities to speed, and drivers try to time out finding the right pit box with the crew chief on when they can speed and not get caught. But it's a black and white system. If you're too fast in a certain segment, then you're busted. Can we go to a program that calculates overall average speed on pit road and include the pit stop time? That's something that I'd like to take a look at. As far as when you trip the beacon to go onto pit road and when you trip it coming off, what's your speed? Because some teams can crank off those 2-tire stops in 6 seconds. Then you have another team that's out there struggling doing a 4-tire stop at 18 seconds. So there's a lot of variables. Bottom line is, racing should be safe for the racetrack. It shouldn't be done on pit road. We need to be as safe as possible on pit road with all of our crew members out there.
Anything else for Kurt? I think you're clear. Thanks,
Great.
Kurt. Good luck
Thank
this
you.
weekend.